Ian Roberts is with me. Hello.
Hi, Graham.
Now, I was talking to myself earlier and asking, did you used to have a surname?
Yeah, I didn't on the show. No.
Okay. You were just Rhydian.
Just Rhydian, but I think my dad would be very upset if I said, no, never.
Yeah.
It's Roberts.
But on the album, it's just Rhydian.
Still Rhydian, yeah.
Rhydian.
Yeah.
So this is the second album, O Fortuna.
Yeah.
And that's going to be out the shops the 30th of November.
30th of November, correct.
How handy for Christmas.
Funny that.
What a happy coincidence.
It's a good stocking filler.
It is. But in the first album, I didn't know, you sold 500,000. You were the biggest selling artist of 2008.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Who would have thought?
Well, it's quite an achievement, isn't it?
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it shocked me, but I was delighted. I mean, obviously, the exposure you get from X Factor certainly helps, but I did spend a year away making the record, so I was a year out of the limelight, and then came back, and it's always a little bit apprehensive, thinking, how's it going to do? But luckily, the fans stayed loyal, and people seem to really like it. So. And
also, what's interesting is, no one came along to steal your thunder. I mean, you're very niche. Like, no one else does what you do.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm glad about that too.
Yeah, absolutely, you should be.
Yeah, we always watch I watched X Factor this year thinking, there better not be a classical baritone with white hair. Luckily there isn't. Very competitive.
And when you lost X Factor, because I mean that's what's now, of course, it's incredible to think back that you didn't win. Leon Jackson won the year you did. I mean, we won't dwell. But when you didn't win, did you think, well, that's the end of it?
I didn't think the end of it. I was obviously disappointed, and the priority was to get a record contract, and you can't just think, I'm going to get one anyway. That's kind of a little bit presumptuous. But luckily, Simon rang me the next day and offered me a contract, which was the same as Leon, so in effect it was...
like winning.
Yeah.
And this album's still with Psycho Music, so it's still a Simon Cowell record.
Yeah, Simon's my boss still, yeah.
And is he hands-on, or do you never see him?
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I'd be lying if I said I saw him every week. I've seen him about 6 times in a year. We do speak on the phone and text. He is hands-on when it comes to release time. Like now, he's very, very involved, yeah. And
now, I mean, the classical music world is notoriously quite snobby. I mean, I talked to Catherine Jenkins recently, and they're snobby about her. So presumably, the classical music world are very are they very odd with you?
I don't know yet, in all honesty, because it was in the pop charts, and it was kind of singing your pop songs and your covers, but this album is, as you say, a lot more classical, a lot more authentic, and I worked with Carl Jenkins on it. He was probably the most successful living classical composer. Who can tell? I mean, there is a world out there like the BBC Three music, which is high art and everything. I'm not claiming to be, hey, I've arrived, but I think in the same vein as Catherine's carved out a career in that contemporary classical world, that's where I've always seen myself being, and hopefully this album reflects that.
And Dame Kiri took she's on it.
What was that?
Yeah.
She's
proper, she's posh, she's been at the Opera House, hasn't she?
She is posh, yeah. I mean, I was so surprised when she agreed to do it, and it's a beautiful song. Her rendition of Benedictus is beautiful. And of course, she was Princess Diana's favourite singer and performed at the wedding. And I'm in awe of her, and the same with Bryn Terfel. A lot of people wouldn't have heard of him, but in the world, and that BBC Three and classical world, he's huge.
Now, you mentioned royalty, so I will. Is it true about the private gig?
At Windsor Castle?
Yes.
Yes.
So what happens? You get a call?
I get, yeah. In fact, I'm really, really lucky, because the royal family, I've performed quite a few times at these prestigious events.
It's a bit boring now, I think. What Rhydian's trying to say, stop calling, Mum. He's over it. He's seen the inside of it. The catering wasn't great.
Certainly not. The catering was amazing, and everything about it was amazing. And you get to meet the Duke of Edinburgh, and that's always a laugh.
Now, and what are you like singing in a sitting room? Is it kind of like is there kind of a plant on the TV and you're standing beside it?
You must have been there.
No, why would I be there?
Well, you go quite a small hall. You get there, and it's obviously very lavish. And yeah, there's a dinner, silver service, and I perform, and usually I perform with a harpist, the royal harpist, Claire Jones.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And does the Queen shout out kind of, you know, oh, do the one from Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah, yeah, and she heckles, boo, get him off! No, they're very charming, and yeah, it is what dreams are made of, and they treat me really well.
Well, listen, we'll talk some more in a moment, but we're going to now play an understated, very, very understated. This is the title track from the album. If you're driving, be prepared, because you might just steer into when the opening notes of this. Here is the mighty voice of Rhydian and O Fortuna. Oh, standing ovation. Standing ovation. Rhydian and O Fortuna. That is exhausting. What? That was taken out of you.
It does, yeah.
How many times did you have to do that?
In the studio, well, you can only really do it about 3 times, and then you're knackered, because of that big note at the end.
And you were telling me while it was on that is one of the few times it's been recorded as a kind of by a solo artist.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, unlike pop songs, the classical world, you can't really change arrangements too much because you'll just get sued. And it's the same with All Fortuna. They're very strict. The publishers and the Orff Society, they have a society as well in Germany.
Of course they do.
Yeah, which we had the right to and asked for permission, and luckily they granted us permission. So yeah, it's the first time.
Well, because they know you're going to sell lots of records.
Well,
so.
hopefully, hopefully.
Well, listen.